and decided to go to Pancakes by the Bay for breakfast and coffee. They got their usual booth by the window. I wonder if Penelope's going to be here today. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Does a person who committed a murder the previous day go to work as a waitress the next day? Oh, here she comes. Good morning. I'll have the Bayside griddle cakes. And a cup of mild morning coffee. And for you, Elena, I'll have the Bayside griddle cakes, a cup of mild morning coffee. Coming right up. Look at her, Elena. Does she radiate anything from her aura that would even give you the pause to think that she is capable of murder? No, she doesn't. I wonder if it really was her who Ethan saw commit the murder. Could have been somebody else. A lot of women resemble her. I say we reopen the case and give her the benefits of the doubt. Yeah, oh, here she comes. Here you are, young lovers, enjoy. Thanks, Penelope. Yeah, thanks, Penelope. Bye, have a terrific day. You too. You too. Michael and Elena finished breakfast and went for a walk. Around town. So, Elena, we have a lot of conflicting evidence. Yeah. The murder still hasn't been solved. You want to go back to my condominium that Braxmore William Shakespeare Alley? Sure. Mike and Elena went back to Mike's condominium that Braxmore William Shakespeare Alley. Here's the next one. Mike and Elena got up the next morning to take a walk along the ocean and talk. It was a cloudy day with a mild breeze blowing on them. In the distance, they could hear the rumbling of thunder. This is ridiculous. We keep getting conflicting evidence concerning the murder. Yes, we do have some conflicting evidence about the murder. That's without mentioning the people from the parallel society who we suspected could have done it. And that's a dark topic. But in order to solve the murder, I think we'll have to probe deeper into the mind of a murderer. What are the primary motives for murder? Often it's money, betrayal, jealousy, rage, revenge, hatred, disgust, and innate evil. Yeah, those are some of the more common motives for murder. Some people suffer from mental conditions that cause them to believe that there are evil spirits beckoning them from a hidden realm to murder people. What if it is not a delusion? What if there really are evil spirits beckoning them to commit murder? Are you being serious? Yeah. You believe in spirits? Yes, I do believe in spirits, both kind and evil. Okay. If there really are spirits beckoning them to commit murder, why would they beckon on them to commit murder? Hi, is it Elite? Hi, Ashley and Thanks for joining me. This is my Reality Bites 2 script. Why does there always have to be a why? Why do the actions of human beings or spirits have to be validated by a motive? Isn't it possible for the actions of both humans and spirits to be guided by some external force? But even then, in that scenario, the force that was guiding them would have to have a motive. Why do they have to have a motive? What does anything Why does anybody do anything without a motive? I eat because I am hungry. I work out because I want to get in shape. I have sex because I seek pleasure. I argue with somebody because I am angry and want to prove a point. I go to church. Well, I actually don't go to church, but if I did, because I don't want to go to hell. I buy new clothes because I want to look good. I kill because I have a motive, such as a desire for revenge. I agree with that, but maybe on some level, actions don't require motives. On some bizarre esoteric level, maybe things happen for no reason at all. I'm going to think about that and get back to you on that. Okay, let's just enjoy the day. Yeah, let's. The day turned to evening. Would you like to go back to my condominium to practice more William Shakespeare dialogue? Sure. Michael and I went back to Mike's condominium to practice more William Shakespeare dialogue. Mike and Elena got up the next day and went to Pancakes Spent the day for breakfast and coffee. They got their usual booth out the window. Penelope took the rudder. How can I help you? Good morning, Penelope. Don't you look lovely and innocent? Lovely and innocent? I'll take lovely. Innocent? Of course I'm innocent. To what are you referring? I'm just alluding to the fact that your countenance doesn't cause a typical person to suspect that they could possibly commit any kind of a heinous crime. Oh, certainly not. I'm innocent to the extent that a person can be innocent. Is anybody truly innocent? Is there any human being in the world who is completely innocent insofar as they have not only never perpetrated a single act that was in any way harmful or offensive to another person, but also have never said or thought anything offensive? I've never met such a person. Been searching for my whole life for a person who embodies moral perfection. I don't think it exists. That being said, most people wouldn't kill another person. I agree. Hey, what are you implying? Let's talk about that some other time. Okay, what's it going to be for breakfast? Give me the paradise pancakes and a cup of modern morning coffee. And for you, Elena, give me the Bayshire girdle caption and a cup of modern morning coffee. Coming right up. Mike and Elena enjoyed breakfast and went for a walk along the ocean that evening. It was a mild evening in early October. Do you want to go back to my condominium to practice more William Shakespeare dialogue? Sure. Mike and Elena went back to Mike's condominium to practice some more William Shakespeare dialogue. Here's an excerpt from it. So now I'm going to go get my William Shakespeare book. Okay. I'm going to start with, so I'm going to try a one I haven't done before. I want to do A Midsummer Night's Dream because I'm really looking forward to the summer this year. And I want to this will get me in the mood for warmer weather. After enduring the miserable Chicago winter, really looking forward to the summer. So this Midsummer Night's Dream will get me all stoked for the summer. So wait a minute. What page is it on? Midsummer Night's Dream. Okay, there we go. To start, I want to read the introduction to A Midsummer Night's Dream. And so we can like maybe analyze this a little bit deeper and go a little bit deeper into the meaning behind this play. A Midsummer Night's Dream, written by William Shakespeare, introduction by Alec Yearling. Okay. Of the handful of plays where the material seems to have been essentially of Shakespeare's own invention, are you following this? A Midsummer Night's Dream is by some way the most sturdily put together. Some pretty deep insight, some pretty good insight there. Within a framing situation of the impending nuptials of Theseus and Hippolyta, three actions are juxtaposed, alternating and interconnecting, the story of the four lovers being the most elaborate terms of the plot, and that of the rehearsing mechanicals the most rudimentary. Into both of these, the willfulness of the fairy world intrudes. Temporarily in the transformation of Bottom, permanently in the continuing enchantment of Demetrius, which allows the lovers' initial ragged ensemble to emerge as symmetrical pairing. The various actions echo each other without falling into too schematic a pattern of parallel or contrast. The various actions, I said that. Theseus and Hippolyta have come through antagonism to mutual love. Oberon bests Titania by humiliating her until she seeks his love and protection. The mortal lovers endure the hazards common to their kind: parental opposition, passion unrequited, infidelity, betrayal, until they and their situation are satisfactorily adjusted, and the mechanicals play out a miniature Romeo and Juliet, which would be tragedy were it not inadvertently presented as farce. It would, in fact, be easy to summarize many incidents so as to make the play seem darker and more threatening than it proves. Titania degraded by an amorous involvement with a bestial clown. Hermia threatened with death, or the nunnery. Old friendships ripped up in sexual rivalry. Sadomasochistic tendencies in the world's rulers. As it is, merriment is what Theseus commands on first entrance. And on the way towards the final fairy benediction, an overriding response, it's laughter. Everything provokes it. Our puck-like superiority to characters, conditions, responses, our recognition of actuality, and the acrimonious verbal exchanges, above all, our almost invariable pleasure, taken in the performance of what is one of Shakespeare's most bounteous gifts to the acting profession. Sounds like they really like this play. What binds it all together is an imaginative wholeness wherein the early Shakespeare's free lyrical flow is directed towards a unified vision which proves to be both ironic and celebratory. Night, dreams, and the moon are invoked at the outset and come increasingly to be linked with the idea of a rational sight. Sight, which is at odds with both with the object it is and it is known to be. Shakespeare teases out this theme until it embraces the audience as well as every element of the play. How would my father look but with eyes, says Hermia. It is, of course, upon the eyes that the juice of the purple flower is squeezed. Also, I'll see what they are inclined to see. The inclination is sometimes involuntary, sometimes willed, sometimes coerced. Oberon's and Puck's enchantment stands for the delusive powers of darkness and dreaming. Or for lunacy, or for the vagaries of the heart. Lysander and Demetrius are agreed in the first scene to be much of a muchness. Hermia and Helena have names that denote the potential interchangeability which will become actual in the chaotic middle of the play, with at any point one beloved and one not. The mysteries of inclination are not to be solved by objective scrutiny. And meanwhile, what the spectators are encouraged to see is not by any means what they scrutinize. While the text repeatedly evokes a miniaturized fairy world, which is delicate and tenebrous and sometimes invisible, what is seen are full size. Even boys being not especially miniature. Moreover, what the original audiences presumably saw was daylit, and without benefit of scenery. Suspension of disbelief, like inclination, is a potent thing. The mechanical's efforts are subject to the same enchantment. Hippolyta's initial resistance to the play is rebuked by her husband. This is the silliest stuff that ever I have heard. The best in this kind are but shadows, and the worst are no worse, of imagination to mend them. It must be your imagination, then, and not theirs. By line 282, her imagination, and with it her feelings, have been engaged. Beshrew my heart, but I pity the man. We may remember that at the start of this act, Theseus likened poetic creation to the delusions of lovers and madmen. Something the play at once illustrates and demonstrates it is a more insidious, even subliminal version of what Henry V's chorus exhorts us. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Not that there are many imperfections in what has proved to be the most enduringly popular and genuinely comic of Shakespeare's earlier comedies. Okay, let's get right to it. I might as well give you the cast members. It's a Midsummer Night's Dream, dramatis personae. Here's the cast. Theseus, Duke of Athens. Aegeus, father to Hermia. Lysander Demetrius, in love with Hermia. Philostrate, master of the revels to Theseus. Quince, a carpenter. Snug, a joiner, bottom, a weaver, flute, a bellows mender, snout, a taker, starveling, a tailor, Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, betrothed to Theseus, Hermia, daughter to Aegeus, in love with Lysander, Helena, in love with Demetrius, Oberon, king of the fairies, Titiana, queen of the fairies, Puck or Robin Goodfellow, Peas Blossom, Cobweb, Moth, Mustard Seed, Fairies. Prologue, presented by Quince. Pyramus, presented by Bottom. Thisbe, presented by Flute. Wall, presented by Snout. Moonshine, presented by Starveling. Lion, presented by Snug. Other fairies attending their king and queen attendants and on Theseus and Hippolyta. The scene, Athens and a wood near it, Act 1, Scene 1, Athens, the palace of Theseus. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Philostrate, and attendants. Now, fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. 4 happy days bring in another moon. But oh, methinks, how slow this old moon wanes. She lingers my desires. Like to a stepdame or a dowager, long withering out a young man's revenue. 4 days will quickly steep themselves in night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time. And then the moon, like a silver bow, new bent in heaven, shall behold the light of our solemnities. Go, Philostrate, stir up the Athenian youth to merriments. Awake the pert and nimble spirit of mirth, turn melancholy forth to funerals. The pale companion is not for our pomp. Hippolyta, I would thee with my sword, and one that loved thee injuries, but I'll wed thee in another key, with pomp and triumph, and with revelling. Enter Aegeus and daughter Hermia, Lysander and Demetrius. Happy be Theseus, our renowned duke. Thanks, good Aegeus. What's the news with thee? Full of vexation come. I with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. Stand forth, Demetrius, my noble lord. This man hath consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander, my gracious duke. This man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast moonlight at her window sung. With feigning voice, verses of feigning love, and stole the impression of her fantasy, with bracelets of thy hair, rings, gauds, conceits, necks, trifles, nosegays, sweetmeats, messengers of strong prevailment and unhardened youth. With cunning hast thou flinched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me. To stubborn harshness, and my gracious duke, be it so she will not here before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius. I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, as she is mine I may dispose of her, which shall be either to this gentleman or to her death. According to our law, immediately provided to that case. What say you, Hermia? Be advised, fair maid. To you your father shall be as God, one that composed your beauties, yes, and one to whom you are but as form and wax, by him imprinted, and within his power to leave the figure and disfigure it. Demetrius is a worthy gentleman. So is Lysander. In himself he is, but in this kind, wanting your father's voice, the other must be held the worthier. In himself he is, but in his kind, I would my father look, but with my eyes, with my eyes. So this story is basically about like a father and son dispute over like who is more well suited for the son for his hand in marriage. So that kind of like theme is like goes all the way back to the 1600s, and you'll see that like in modern day movies too, like a father and a son like disputing over like who the right woman for him to marry is. So it's pretty cool that some of these same themes go back hundreds of years. Pretty interesting. Okay, either to die the death or to abjure forever our society of men. Therefore, for Hermia, question your desires. Know of your youth, examine well your blood, whether you yield not to your father's choice. You can endure the library of a nun. That's a pretty important choice, the choice of who to marry. Um, and the choice of whether or not to get married, too. But if you do, the choice of who to get married is something that like has such a huge impact on your life. Okay? For I to be in steady cloister mewed, to live a barren sister all your life, chanting faint hymns to the cold fruitless moon, thrice blessed that they master so their blood to undergo such maiden pilgrimage, but earthly are happy to the rose distilled than that which withering on the virgin thorn grows, lives, and dies, in the single blessedness. So will I grow, so live, so die. My soul consents not to give sovereignty. Take time to pause, and by the next new moon, the sealing day betwixt my love and me for everlasting bond of fellowship, upon the day ever to prepare to die for disobedience to your father's will, or else to wed Demetrius as he would, or on Diana's altar to protest for any austerity in single life. Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander yield thy crazed title to my certain right. You have your father's love, Demetrius. Let me have Hermia's. Do you marry him? I remember the very first time I saw it with Kuznets. Um, Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, to leave the virtue. Aye, there it is. I'm gonna go right on to Romeo and Juliet. Act 2, Scene 2, Capulet's torture. Enter Romeo. He just the scars that never felt the wound. Enter Juliet above the window. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon who's already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid are more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious, her vessel raw ivory is but sick and green. None but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, that will answer it. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes there till they twinkle as fair as till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Would through the airy regions, her eyes in heaven, would through the airy regions stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that it was a glove upon that hand, that it might touch that cheek. She speaks, so speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being over my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn by love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this? 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy, thou art thyself. Though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It's not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doff that name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all. I take thee at thy word. Call me with I'll believe you. Oh, lady. By yonder blessed moon, I swear, that tips with silver all those fruit tree tops. Damn it. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that muchly changes in her circle o'er, blessed with that love prove likewise variable. What shall I swear by? Do not swear at all. God damn it. Or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, I believe thee. I'm going to go right to the end of the play, actually. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you all subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right to the end of the play. Enter Romeo and Balthazar with a torch, a maddock, and a crow of iron. Give me that maddock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter early in the morning. See thou deliver to my father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee. What if thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend upon this death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment, therefore. Hence, be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost pry in what I farther shall intend to do, by heaven I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable than empty tigers in the roaring sea. I'll be gone, staring, not trouble you. So shall that. Let me go right to the end of the play. Okay. This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. In her he writes that he did by a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to the vault to die, came to this vault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished. Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand. But I can give thee more. For I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whilst Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as this of that of true and faithful Juliet. As rich shall Romeo by his lady's lie pour sacrifices of our enmity. A gloaming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence, have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, some punished. For some never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and Romeo. So thanks for joining me this morning. That was some of my Reality Bites 2 script that has a segment featuring Shakespeare dialogue. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep watching all my videos and listening to my live streams. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my videos and live streams. Thanks for joining me. Having a great rest of the week. Bye.